It's time to head west into the heartlands of Ireland, where our dedicated Midlands reporter Sarah Jane Foster is standing by to bring us up to date with all that's happening. Sarah Jane, how are you?
Lottie, I am so good. I actually haven't spoke with you since I got this job back in November.
Oh my lord, has it been that long?
Yes, and you've been pregnant since. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, I am with child. Sarah Jane, tell me, the one thing I wanted to kick off with this morning was the 2021 Formula 1 season, because that's obviously kicked off and there's nobody from Offaly racing in it this year, but rumour has it that could be changing.
Yes, absolutely. So the Formula 1 fans will absolutely love this story. So there's a young guy called Alex Dunn. He's only 15. He's from Clonbelogue in County Offaly, and he's currently training in Spain, preparing for the first round of the F4 Spanish Championships. Oh my goodness. He learned how to drive when he was 8, and he's just doing unbelievable.
When he was 8?
When he was 8, I was like, oh my good God, I think it took me like 5 times to pass my driving test.
What was he driving when he was 8?
Yeah, so he started off in go-karts and he has literally just been progressing so good since then. He actually gets homeschooled. He's that committed to it. And he's he's in Spain at the minute and he's testing his new car. He's after getting signed up to Pinnacle Motorsport. He's absolutely flying. So for anyone who's like not hugely into Formula 1, basically the likes of like Lewis Hamilton and stuff like that, they would have started the exact same way as Alex did in the go-karts, progressing on to F4, F3, F2 and then Formula 1. Like, he's going to be absolutely huge. I'm so excited for him.
That's incredible. And I would imagine that there's a lot of young men out there who are thinking, how do people get to the place that people like Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher have been? But that's how. Yeah. You stick your kid into a go-kart, obviously.
Yeah, big time. Like, I hadn't a clue how that would have worked either. You kind of just think that like Lewis Hamilton just wakes up and he's, the superstar. But it's actually the exact same route that Alex is doing. So it's unbelievable. It's so exciting. Like, it's going to be so good.
So hopefully next year we'll be seeing him in Formula 4?
F4, yeah, maybe next year he might be in F3 by then and he'll just keep progressing that way. It's going to be unbelievable.
We'll be keeping our eyes on him. Also, there's a story about the world's tallest statue that, I mean...
Unbelievable, yes. So Paddy Dunning is the man behind this tallest statue. So people will actually know Paddy from being the owner of the Wax Museum and for bringing Michael Jackson to Westmeath to record one of his albums in Grouse Lodge Studios. But I mean, everyone has all these memories of, growing up, like visiting the Wax Museum. Lottie, you probably have visited when you were younger.
Oh, I love the Wax Museum. It used to be the spot to go for birthday parties.
Yeah, wasn't it? Like, I remember going when I was younger. So my granddad Mick Foster from Foster and Allen is in it. And I just remember going when I was younger going like, this is so strange seeing like a wax figure of my granddad. I thought it was insane.
My dad was in the Wax Museum and he had to be taken out because I think his head melted.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
Well, I was actually talking to Paddy about this yesterday. He doesn't have Foster and Allen in the Wax Museum at the minute. I was like, Paddy, you're going to have to sort this out. I was like, if not, I want the wax figures. But basically, he's the man behind this giant statue. And his aim is to have it in 21 cities in 2021. The statue moves. He started rhyming off all these figures about how big the statue is. I was like, Paddy, just tell me, is it bigger than the Joe Dolan statue and the Statue of Liberty? And he said it was. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah, apparently that it's going to be bigger than Statue of Liberty. So that's pretty cool. And like, it's unbelievable. So basically,
it's bigger than the Statue of Liberty and it's movable.
It actually moves, like, so the arms and the head moves and it can actually form into anybody, like absolutely anybody. So for example, if it's in Dublin and there's something like huge going on, like a movie premiere, or if U2 are playing, the statue can turn into Bono, it can turn into
incredible.
Lotte Ryan. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I just think like it's like the modern kind of museum that our kids will be visiting. We've obviously had all the memories in the Wax Museum growing up, and I just think it's the new museum.
I wonder, so where will they put it? Where would it be located?
So he doesn't. I don't think they actually have a location at the minute. So he's on the hunt for people who have a site available for this huge statue, and it's to empower people. And he said, what was it he said to me the other day? You don't have to be big to be a giant. I was like, Paddy, I'm 5'2", so explain this to me. But that's when he said that the statue can actually form into anybody. So it's so exciting.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. Now, tell
Yeah,
us,
it'll be deadly.
Sarah Jane, tell us about retired Westmeath footballer John Egan. He's spreading what I think is an incredibly important message, isn't he?
Yeah, unbelievable. So John Egan, he's 30, he's from Westmeath, he's a retired Westmeath footballer. And when I heard about this story, it just struck a chord, and I was like, do you know, I just think nobody ever knows what anybody is going through, and everybody would know John Egan for being super fit, super talented footballer. And recently he's been spreading the word about how important it is to become an organ donor. John is actually in the middle of, he needs to get a kidney transplant. And it's so important, he needs a new kidney, and it's so important that people do become an organ donor. And just his story, I think because he's so young, I think there's not a lot of awareness about being an organ donor, and I definitely think his story will make people consider it. Definitely.
I think it's such an important topic, and it's one of these subjects that I always, every couple of months, think to myself, it's usually when I'm in a pharmacy and I see the little cards and I think, oh God, I have to do that. I have to sign up to be an organ donor because I would love to be one, and I just never get around to doing it. And I'm definitely somebody who would be for that whole idea of everybody just automatically being an organ donor, and that if you didn't want to be, that you'd have to opt out, as opposed to it kind of being the complete opposite, that if you have to opt in, which makes it a lot more difficult, I think.
Oh no, definitely. And John actually said that to me himself yesterday when I was speaking to him. And he's actually up in Beaumont today, where he's going to be officially put on the list to get a kidney transplant.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, unbelievable. So he said it's going to take up to 6 months to 4 years. That's the time frame. But I think I have a really good feeling about it, and he's such a good person, and I think he's going to attract the perfect donor for him.
Absolutely. And also I think it'll help people to have maybe that conversation around the dinner table, because it is something that families should talk about. You should probably be aware, your brothers, your sisters, your partner, how do they feel about it? Do they want their organs donated? Do you know? And I think most people probably wouldn't know. Do their partners or their family want their organs to be donated? So I think it's a conversation people need to have, and it's definitely worth shining a light on it. Now, finally, Sarah Jane, a story that will bring warmth to our hearts. There's a woman who has adopted some unusual creatures.
Oh my good God. So we have Mr. Robin and Mr. Fox. So a lady I know in the Midlands, she's basically like an animal whisperer. Like, she's unbelievable. So she literally, she has this robin she speaks to. Like, she talks to him like she's talking to me or you. And it's like the robin just understands her. And he comes over, sits in her hand, sits on her shoulder. And, she was saying to me that he really got her through lockdown. Like, she just said it's been so miserable. And she was just like, it's the little things in life that actually just uplift people. But it's so mad to see, the video went viral. She had a video up and it went viral. And she's just chatting away to the little Robin, and she even has a fox, and she calls him Mr. Fox, and he comes to her garden and she feeds him at night. She just must have this energy that people just I'm saying animals, that just are attracted to her. She's such a calming person to be around in general, but I mean, it's mad.
I just think obviously to have Mr. Fox and Mr. Robin as your pets is more unusual, but I think there's a lot of people out there who would say animals and pets have been lifesavers during lockdown. I know for one, I speak to my pet on a daily basis, telling them absolutely everything. And if you didn't have that outlet, I do think sometimes life will probably be quite miserable.
Oh no, definitely. But that squirrel that you actually put up on your Instagram this morning was so funny.
Thank you. I mean,
the picture's hilarious.
Doesn't it look painful?
Oh my God, big time. It really does.
I think it looks painful. Actually, Sarah Jane, we've just got a text in from someone saying you can download an app for your phone now instead of trying to get a card for organ donation. I did not know that. I am now going to directly go to my phone and download that app. So thank you, whoever texts that in. Sarah Jane, thank you for telling us all the news from the Midlands this week. Let us know if there's any new developments on the stories, won't you?
I definitely will. Looking forward to it, Lottie.
Thanks, Sarah Jane.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.